But yeah, I think this might be the end. We are well off. It is not a financial thing. We make a lot of money, but piece by piece, the structure becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until it becomes impossible to manage. You know, I would never call out anybody personally or individually. I would just say that, like, compounding, I don't know, laziness.
Yeah. Okay. Now pause it for a second because I don't want that music to bang it. So now,
MAGA right-wing YouTuber, commentator, whatever you want to call him, Tim Pool, had a bit of a meltdown recently. It was pretty odd, as things can be with Tim Pool. We're going to take a look at Sam Seder of The Majority Report broke all this down. We're going to take a look at clips from The Majority Report with Sam Seder, as well as clips from Tim Pool's show. I will share my thoughts from time to time on this as well. Let's check this out together.
Let me just address this briefly. We will discuss the seeming meltdown that Tim Pool seems to be having. I think it's public knowledge, or largely, that Tim invited me on to his show for November 1st. That involves some travel. Anybody who knows me knows I don't like to travel. Anybody who knows me knows that I would rather not travel before the election. Anybody who knows me knows I've been traveling more than I like to. I went down to New Orleans for a radio conference a couple of weeks ago. I went to Vegas. I had to go to Worcester for, the Jewish high holidays.
So you hit the three big party capitals of America: New Orleans, Las Vegas, and Worcester.
Worcester just was exhausting. Everything else was fine. But we got this offer, and he's down in West Virginia. I don't think that's a secret. I think people know that. And so the idea is you fly down the night before, and then they go in because it's a 10 o'clock in the morning show. And so, I agreed to do it. And then I realized, like, oh, shit. The night before is October 31st, which is, at least in New York, Halloween. And I have an 11-year-old son. I've probably got like 2 more Halloweens before I am booted for good, and that's it. My kids are not going to allow me to be around Halloween. I'm not a huge Halloween person.
Halloween doesn't really start until the parents stay home and you get to go around with your friends.
Exactly. And so that's close. So, I'm not going to miss Halloween with my kids. So I am scheduled to fly out of New York at 6 a.m. So I've got to wake up at I don't know what time you got to get to the airport. Like even like a 5:15 is, like a little bit dicey getting to the airport. Like I got to wake up at like 4 a.m. or something. So
to go talk to Tim Pool.
It's an obligation. This is not something that I'm particularly looking forward to. I don't care, frankly.
About the ideas
or whatever it is. And then, so over the past 2 days, Tim has been having some type of nervous breakdown or something. And, as far as I know, I'm still doing his show. It's Friday morning. He keeps saying about, it's unclear to me from what he's talking about, whether, play the other one first. It's a compilation that somebody put to music. Tim Cost, which is a great way to really get your Tim Pool fix.
Yeah, you don't have to give any views to Tim or anything.
Right. Now, is this music, is it, do you think it's,
That's a good question. No.
Let's play a little bit of it. I mean, and we'll.
I'll speed it up.
Yeah, speed it up a little bit. We always put an audio filter on anyways whenever we talk about Tim Pool. But here he is complaining. He's saying that he's got lazy employees and he can't handle it anymore or something.
We've had, there's not a single person here who can make sure that the show is over. But yeah, I think this might be the end. We are well off. It is not a financial thing. We make a lot of money, but piece by piece, the structure becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until it becomes impossible to manage. You know, I would never call out anybody personally or individually. I would just say that like compounding, I don't know, laziness.
Yeah. Okay. Now pause it for a second because I don't want that music to bang it. So now, when you cancel a show, what is like, if I was to tell you folks that I was canceling the show, would you guys think, oh, you're obviously canceling the show because of financial reasons? No. Like, I've been doing the show for 10, 15 years. Why would I all of a sudden be having financial problems? And that's why I canceled the show? It doesn't make any sense. But Tim wanted to address that very early on because he didn't want people to feel like it's because they're doing really well. I just think that's strange. But, you know, Tim is a strange guy. Maybe he's just nervous. He wants people to know that he's doing fine. He's not worried. I mean, I can tell you that, like, we're a pretty lazy operation here. And,
what?
And when, you know, we have times where we have more members than others. There's times where we have more advertising than others. There's times that we have more viewers than others. And there's times where, you know, like, I'm like, I can't believe we're doing great. And there are other times where I'm like, whoa, if this keeps up, what are we going to do going forward? You know, but the idea that you would close down because of finances is weird to me. And I think like you get annoyed with people being lazy when it's not when your revenue is going gangbusters. Hey guys, we're doing 20% over what we did last year. Stop being so lazy.
My theory on this, I think Sam Seder's right about what he's saying. My theory about this is I imagine that, you know, Tim Pool built this skate park and all this, and he's had all his bros hanging out with him and all that. And he's hired a lot of them to do work for him, which first, you know, people always say don't work with your family, and I imagine don't work with your friends. It seems like a good idea, but a lot of times it doesn't work out. And I imagine when the news dropped a couple of months ago about Tim Pool and some of these other right-wingers like Benny Johnson and Dave Rubin getting money from Russia, and that they were each being paid $400,000 a month to do like one video a week, I imagine some of these hangers-on and even just employees that Tim Pool had or has started to realize how much money Tim Pool was making, and they wanted a cut of that and were pissed and probably quit. Didn't want to do the work for maybe the peanuts that Tim Pool was paying them, because I doubt he was doing revenue sharing with these people. But that's just my theory from the outside. Let's see a bit more of what Sam has to say.
Less time at the skate park.
It's just weird. It's weird. Continue for a second.
Over time, which adds more and more workload to, you know, me and Allison, to get to the point where we're just like, can't do it. We do really well, and you know, it just
the problem is, we do really well
without a proper CEO who isn't hosting the show. It's not possible.
Okay, now stop it for a second. It's funny because when was Emma on this program? When did Emma do Tim Pool?
About a year ago, I think.
Yeah. Didn't Tim Pool say, you guys are bad businessmen?
You need to hire a CFO.
Is that what he said? We need to hire a CFO?
CFO, yeah.
He knows all the letters. You know, I'm not going to question it. So this is 2 nights ago where I couldn't quite make out, like, you know, I even watched like a longer clip, and I couldn't understand. Like, wait, are you quitting? It wasn't clear, and so this is what he came back with last night, I guess.
All the stress has come to a head. We finally make the decision. Maybe we should just take care of ourselves and stop pushing as hard as we can to the point where our heads are going to explode and our eyes pop out of our heads.
Pause it for a second. Now, have we established who the we is here? Is he talking about him, or is he referring to himself in the royal we, or is he talking about somebody else?
He mentioned that, was it Allison or something? I assume that's who he's talking about when he's talking about these discussions, but maybe he means him and the whole staff. I'm not sure.
Or he just means like the royal we, like he doesn't want to say I, like he doesn't want to own it.
The C-suite with him and...
Right, he doesn't want to own it personally, so we say we. I mean, I'm just, this is all speculation on my part. I have absolutely no idea what's going on here.
All the stress has come to a head. We finally make the decision. Maybe we should just take care of ourselves and stop pushing as hard as we can to the point where our heads are going to explode and our eyes pop out of our heads. And that's what happens yesterday when we're at a point where I don't want to put my family at risk. And there's limited things I'm willing to say because of the psychopaths who threaten us every single day and the very serious threats that we do receive almost every single day. But as I mentioned,
pause it for a second. Is he implying that he has a secret family? Is he talking about his extended family that's at risk? Or
I think this is a situation where for Tim Pool, it's going to be like, oh yeah, I have a girlfriend. You wouldn't know her. She goes to a different school. Or yeah, I have a girlfriend. She lives in Canada. This seems like that kind of a scenario here.
Or is he like has a secret, partner and child?
I don't think that's the case because he would make that public if he was. I mean, well, as we can see, that's what.
But that's the thing is, I can't tell. Like, are you trying to shield your secret family, or are you trying to reveal that you have a secret family?
Yeah,
it's weird.
It is weird. Also, given that a few members of his family are in our chat occasionally.
Well, I feel like we have more contact with members of his family than he does, maybe.
Tim Pool definitely, if you don't know that much about Tim Pool, there definitely seems to be an estrangement issue with Tim Pool and a lot of his family. I guess his dad is a pretty harsh critic of him from what I understand. I mean, I don't watch Tim Pool all the time, and I haven't seen everything with the Majority Report and Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland talking about Tim Pool's family situation, but it seems like a lot of Tim Pool's family does not like him.
But maybe there's other parts of the family that we're not clear on.
Who threaten us every single day and the very serious threats that we do receive almost every single day. But as I mentioned, we've talked about it. We worked through as much as we can. And I think largely due to the response from our loyal fans, members, viewers, and, and some friends and family, we'll make it work to the best of our abilities. So with that being said, it's kind of the weirdest way to announce that I'm pursuing, my family life to the best of my abilities. And I will stress too, one of the most frustrating things about...
Does this make sense to anybody? This is completely...
I don't I think I agree with Sam here. I don't understand. I don't even know why Tim Pool really had to make this announcement or anything other than to, I guess, float the idea that he has a girlfriend and is maybe going to have a baby someday or whatever, because he could have just kept on doing what he's doing. But he basically says that, he wants to cut back some, but he's still going to have all these other channels and shows that he's doing. So the whole thing with Tim Pool just doesn't make any sense. This was a weird kind of breakdown that he had.
He is announcing that he has a family.
I believe this is maybe a very strange way of announcing a pregnancy.
Ah.
That's what at least our chat is saying. I think that's what's happening here. But it is a very weird way of saying, yeah, I'm stepping back from my...
There's a simpler way of saying this. I have a relationship that you folks aren't aware of, and it requires my attention. And therefore... I am stepping back. But it's unclear to me what he's stepping back from.
And that's still speculation, I'll just say.
Yeah, it's unclear. Like keep listening. If anybody can figure this out, I don't know, maybe a Tim Pool listener can figure it out. because maybe there's some frequency that I'm not picking up on.
A normal person, and Tim Pool we know is not a normal person, but a normal person would just be like, hey, everybody, my partner and I, my girlfriend, my wife, whatever, that I haven't really talked about on the show, we're having a baby. And we're really excited about this, and so maybe I won't be around as much while we're going through this pregnancy and ultimately birth and all that kind of thing. And maybe we'll have some other host filling in or whatever. I mean, that's what a normal host of a normal show would do. But we know Tim Pool is a weird guy, as Sam Seder said early on. But what do you think about this whole thing? And this was actually recorded before Sam Seder went and debated with Tim Pool. I have a video on that as well on the channel, so check that out. But what do you think about this weird? Do you think there really is a relationship? Does Tim Pool actually have a girlfriend, and is he actually going to have a baby, or is this all some fake thing? I don't know, to get views somehow. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think about Sam Seder, Tim Pool, this strangeness with Tim Pool. Anything else you want to comment on? I love to read your comments. Make sure to give me a like and subscribe. My channel's growing quickly. I want to continue to grow and bring out more content like this. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. This is Chris on Culture, and I will see you in the next video.